Hey everyone! Over the last year, I've tried out loads of new iPhone video creation gear. From gimbals that use your iPhone's docket technology to an SSD and hub, which allows you to connect various other things as well as the SSD. A grip with handles that's also an SSD encasement. A lightweight travel tripod that has an iPhone clamp built in. And just recently, I was sent a gimbal that, in my opinion, is basically the best smartphone gimbal out there. Out of everything that I've been sent, I've chosen my favorites, and in this video I'm going to show you them. And of course, everything will be linked in the description, so just click through and you'll find the links there. Smartphone cages are sturdy frames designed to accommodate various accessories, including lenses, microphones, and there's usually an option to add detachable handles. They often feature cold shoe mounts, threaded holes, as well as other attachment points for securely attaching these components. So this Freewell Genius Vision Kit is very versatile. There's two side handles, cold shoe mounts, and a Bluetooth shutter button. You can mount lenses and filters to the frame, and there's also an option for your SSD as well. The kit is super customizable, so you can switch things around to suit your needs. So let's go through it. First, open the catches and slide your phone into the metal cage. It's got this rubber padding inside to keep your phone safe. Now you just close the catches to secure it. We've got 3 cold shoe mounts, 2 on top and 1 on the side. And you can also use the 1/4-inch tripod ports to mount it to a tripod. And you don't need to worry about not being able to reach your phone's buttons, because there are rubber buttons on the cage and that gives you access. The kit comes with 2 metal handles that clip onto the cage at different points. Just press in and clip them on. You can have them on the sides or even rotate them to any angle. You can clip a handle onto the top or onto the bottom, and this helps you get different shots, for example a low shot. There's a magnetic Bluetooth shutter button that you can attach to either handle, and each handle has another cold shoe mount on top. Plus you can actually rotate this top part, so you can really customize the setup to your liking. The handles have a few more tricks up their sleeves. Unscrew one and it turns into a mini tripod that you can attach to the bottom of the cage. The other handle extends so that you can use it like a selfie stick, and you can even detach the extendable part and then attach it to the mini tripod handle and then attach that to the cage. And now you've got a super tall mini tripod. The cage is compatible with Freewell's Sherpa magnetic filters, and you can also mount Freewell's lenses using the plate. But you can actually swap these out for other options. The T-bayonet mount lets you attach any Moment T-series lens, while still using Freewell magnetic filters. And the 17mm threaded mount is perfect for any 17mm lens. Plus you can use this with a step-up ring to attach a 37mm filter, or actually any other size filter, as long as you have the appropriate step-up ring. The Small Rig Brandon Lee All-in-One Mobile Video Kit Co-Design Edition features a universal cage that supports 67mm magnetic filters. These ND filters allow you to adjust the amount of light reaching the sensor. The one handle is equipped with a wireless remote control. Then you've got the usual press to take a photo or start-stop video recording. And as well, half pressing the shutter button sets exposure and focus, like it does when you tap the screen. But if you half press for over 2 seconds, you can actually also lock exposure and focus. But this does require you to change a few things in your iPhone. And if you make these changes, you can actually control the zoom of your native iPhone camera with this lever at the front. Meanwhile, the side handle can accommodate an M2 SSD for external drive recording. The system comes with a 4-in-1 USB-C hub, which offers a PD 100-watt charging port, a USB-C 3.1, and 2 USB 2.0 interfaces. So we've got 2 side handles, which mount quickly and easily to the cage and are rotatable, giving you a lot of flexibility. As well, you can quickly switch between the side handle and the top handle modes, and additionally, an Arca Swiss quick release adapter is included, so that makes it easier to mount this to a regular tripod. The kit also includes a power bank holder so that you can connect up your external batteries and keep your phone shooting for longer. The frame allows you to mount using just the normal springy clamp, or you can use a MagSafe magnet mount. The good thing about having a universal rig like this is that you don't have to buy a new one every time you upgrade your phone. The new camera control feature of the iPhone 16 means we now need a case that allows access to the button, which is also a slider. And I have this one by Freewell. My experience of Freewell kit is that it's generally well made and solid, and this case is no different. One thing I do like is that the iPhone slips in and out of the case really easily. And normally it's a little bit of a struggle, especially getting the phone out, but I didn't have any problems like that with this case. So there's a well-designed gap for the camera control, and I find that even with fairly fat fingers, I'm able to use the control as normal. On the front there's a metal plate used for mounting Freewell Sherpa magnetic filters as well as Freewell F-series lenses. The lenses use a bayonet mount, which is really simple to use. Just twist and it's in place, no fussing around. This is the Freewell 1.55 times blue anamorphic lens, which comes with UV, ND8, ND16, ND32 and ND64 filters included. Just screw them on and you're ready to go. So the reason you need an ND filter is to slow your shutter speed for extra motion blur, which then smooths out the look of motion in your video. And this is particularly important if you're shooting at 24 frames per second. Although these filters do not stack, the advantage of single strength ND filters is that you don't get that cross effect that you sometimes get with variable ND filters. There's also a Freewell 1.33 times anamorphic, so I tried both anamorphics with my iPhone 16 Pro, and this is how they came out. This is the Freewell 1.7 times telephoto, and I'm mounting it to my iPhone 16 Pro using the case that I showed you previously. Here it's mounted over the main wide camera. I did try it over the telephoto, but it looks pretty messy. Aside from changing the focal length of your main camera, the lens certainly adds a little bit of retro film look character to the image. We got some of that softness and chromatic messiness, which I actually like because digital images, they can often be a little bit too clean and a little bit too clinical, at least for my taste. Now, one thing to note is that all new Freewell lenses are compatible with the new Freewell 61mm filters. So that means you cannot mount filters from other brands. As well, the old Freewell lenses and filters were smaller, so they're also not compatible. Sandmarc makes two types of case for the iPhone, a basic one and a faux leather one. So I don't actually have one for the iPhone 16, so I can't say how well they work for the camera control, but this is the case for the iPhone 15 Pro. So you can use the case to mount filters and lenses. The cases have 17mm threads on the main wide and the telephoto, but not on the ultra wide. And Sandmarc have sent me this new retro filter to try out, which is essentially a mist and polarizing filter combined. So the mist part reduces contrast, it adds softness, and it creates this bloom effect around bright lights, which of course includes the sun. A polarizing filter reduces glare and also reduces reflections. And as well, it can enhance the colors of the image. For example, darkening skies to make them look a bit bluer. But it does actually depend on which way you're facing in relation to the sun. The idea of the retro filter is to transform harsh light into a kind of soft, glowing light. And it's also going to help to smooth out skin in a kind of natural way. And it's going to be more natural than the skin smoother filter that you get in your phone or in apps such as CapCut, which does tend to make skin look a little bit plastic. The retro filter comes with two filters of different mist strengths. There's also a clip and a pouch. To mount the filter, you can use the clip, so the filter then covers all the cameras at the same time. But if you mount it using the case, you're going to need the step-up ring. But this can only be mounted to the wide and telephoto cameras, as the ultra wide of the case, as I say, does not have a thread for mounting. The filter can also be mounted to compatible Sandmarc lenses. But on the downside, this filter cannot be stacked with other Sandmarc filters. Since Apple introduced video recording directly to an external drive, and in some cases actually requires it. A lot of companies have brought out products that are going to assist us in doing this. And one of the main problems is that if you just attach a regular SSD drive with a cable, it's just going to dangle down and it's going to cause you problems. As well, it's going to take up the port of your iPhone for charging or for using a microphone. And next up is one of the best solutions that I've tried. The Lexar Professional Go Portable SSD with Hub is an external drive which you can connect to your iPhone and record video directly onto the drive. And there's also a hub which allows you to connect other devices and to charge your phone even while the SSD drive is attached. So this solves that problem when you connect an external drive to your phone, but then you can't use the USB-C port for anything else. The drive is very small and light, which makes it pretty versatile. For example, you can use this with your gimbal or with your phone mounted to a rig. The hub has 4 USB-C ports. One of those is for the SSD drive. Now we need to add the USB-C adapter to connect the hub to the phone. And then you can record video directly to the drive. After that, there's 2 ports left. One of them is for charging and file transfer. And the hub supports up to 30 watts PD charging and 10 gigabytes per second transfer speed. And we can use the final port for adding a microphone. So that means we are now able to record video directly to an external drive and at the same time connect a microphone and a charging cable. Now, according to my scales, the SSD with hub and adapter combined weighs 40 grams. If you just want a good external SSD solution for your iPhone without the hub but with a MagSafe magnetic attachment, the Lexar SL500M portable SSD could be the answer. The iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max can record 120 frames per second 4K video in the high-quality ProRes format. The files are going to be very big, so it makes sense to record to an external SSD. To record 4K 120 frames per second ProRes, the external drive needs a write speed of at least 140 megabytes per second. So this is Lexar's SL500 portable SSD. It has write speeds of up to 1800 megabytes per second and read speeds of up to 2000 megabytes per second. It has a slim, solid aluminium body, and it's small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. And as well, the SSD can magnetically attach to your device. So that means you can attach it to your iPhone, and it's small enough that you won't really notice it's there too much, and you can start recording those high-quality ProRes Apple log files direct to the SSD. There's also an additional magnetic ring which you can use with a laptop cover or maybe another device, and as well there is a wrist strap. Another option for an external SSD is the Aiffro P10. This is smaller than the Lexar SL500M, and it doesn't need a sleeve to attach it to your iPhone. They come in 1TB and 2TB options, and what you get is basically this small disc with 2 cables. So this is the 1TB version, and this allows me to record about 3 hours and 49 minutes worth of Apple ProRes 422 in 4K Apple log at 30 frames per second. All you do is attach it to the back of your iPhone with the magnet. The SSD actually attaches with the logo faced towards the back of the iPhone, which did seem a little bit counterintuitive to me. But if Aiffro wants to hide their logo from the world, who am I to argue? Aside from that, just connect the SSD to your iPhone 15 or 16 with one of the 2 cables provided. There's a regular version and there's one with a 90-degree angle. And I found that these cables work fine with your iPhone in a case as well. Like the Lexar SL500M, the Aiffro P10 has write speeds of up to 1800 megabytes per second and read speeds of up to 2000 megabytes per second. This is the QWIIZLAB magnetic SSD enclosure, which attaches to your iPhone magnetically. It's not actually an SSD drive itself. Instead, it's a case for an SSD drive with a connecting USB-C cable. The idea is that you can purchase an SSD drive separately and then install it. Installation is actually pretty simple. The QWIIZLAB SSD enclosure comes with easy to follow instructions, and even though I've actually never done this before, I was able to install the SSD in about 10 minutes. The encasement only supports NVMe protocol SSDs in the 2230 form factor with BM key and M key up to 2 TB capacity. So you can actually get a 2TB drive to install for about $140, $150. So in total, this is going to be about $190 or so for a 2TB setup, which is less than half the price of adding half as much memory to your iPhone. And by the way, the cable that comes with your iPhone is only a basic cable and does not support fast data transfer. So if you do want to utilize the data speeds that your iPhone is capable of via a cable, then you do need to purchase a cable that supports faster transfer speeds. So for example, the iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max feature USB 3 transfer speeds, which is up to 10 gigabytes per second, but you're going to need a cable which supports up to 10 gigabytes transfer. But the thing is that the included charging cable that comes with the iPhone 16 Pro is only rated for USB 2, which is up to 480 megabytes per second. So that's one thing to buy all this equipment and you can have a house full of equipment like I do. But if you don't know how to use it, then it's going to be kind of a waste of money. And for that reason, I've written a book called Smartphone Videography Beginner to Advanced, and it's now on Amazon as an ebook and also as a paperback and hardback book. And it covers everything from getting started right up to more advanced things like using codecs or shooting in log format, and many other things as well. Just basically everything that I could think of that I'd learned over the last 5 years, where I've been basically doing nothing but shooting video with smartphones. Apart from the smartphone, the piece of kit that I use more than anything else is a tripod. And for iPhone, they come in all kinds of different sizes and designs. For this video, I picked out 3 tripods, and they're all pretty different from each other and have kind of different uses. This is a pocket-sized foldable tripod by Freewell, and you could also call it an iPhone stand. I do find that Freewell are very good at engineering devices that are a bit like a Swiss Army knife. So this is one of those devices, and it can be used in various ways. The iPhone attaches magnetically, so it's really quick and easy to get it on and off. And you can mount it vertically or horizontally, of course. Open it up and you got yourself a little stand. Open it up a little bit more and you can increase the height. For extra stability, pull out the 2 legs, and everything is easily adjustable. You can also hold it in your hand for a mini selfie stick. You can get some high shots and you can get low shots with it. This little tripod can even be configured to sit on the top of your laptop screen so that you can use your iPhone as a webcam. Although your screen does have to be pretty much vertical or it's going to tip the screen back because of the weight. And of course you can also hook it to other things, for example like the back of a chair. There's a 1/4-inch threaded port so you can mount it to a tripod, but this part also acts as an Arca plate for mounting to tripods as well. This is the Just Tap tripod by a company called Craft Geek. Simply tap the bottom of the tripod on the ground and it snaps open. At the top you have a regular phone clamp. You just pull to extend the tripod to its full height. And you can twist the clamp for horizontal or vertical shooting. And I'd say that the whole thing is pretty sturdy as well. So the advantage of this Just Snap tripod is that it's very quick to set up. And also you can do it just with one hand. Of course, you are going to need 2 hands to extend the tripod, but it is actually pretty tall. And I'm quite tall myself, but I can see myself using this for talking to the camera shots while I'm standing. I don't know about you, but when I'm working, speed is an important aspect of what I do, creating videos for YouTube or for Patreon and various other social media platforms. So I can honestly see myself using this just because it's so simple and quick. On the downside, it's not the most stable tripod, so you're not going to be able to use it outside in windy conditions, I would say. There is a detachable Bluetooth button for photos and to start or stop recording, and as well you can use this as a selfie stick if you want. This is a sleek travel tripod by Freewell with a head that's specifically designed to give you a lot of shooting options. This tripod is a great travel option because it's lightweight and compact. It also has a number of features that make it versatile, such as a mounting plate with a built-in phone clamp, and also has a leg which can be detached and then used as a monopod. The tripod weighs less than a kilogram, was just under 20 pounds. and it folds down to 42.8 centimeters, which is just under 17 inches. And this makes it easy to pack in a backpack or to carry on your shoulder. This tripod is a clever combination of both a ball head and a fluid head. The ball head is basically a simple ball and socket which allows you to adjust the angle of the camera. A fluid head, on the other hand, offers resistance, so that when you adjust the angle, it doesn't just move freely. Instead, even a small amount of pressure tilts or pans the camera very smoothly. And this makes your pan and tilt shots look more professional. Extending the legs is easy and super fast. Just twist, extend, then twist again. And one leg can actually be detached and used as a monopod, and then add it to the central column for extra length. So why not use the monopod as a handle extension for your gimbal for those epic crane shots? Smartphone gimbals come in 3 basic categories. So we've got the smaller fold-up gimbals. In the middle we have the regular sized gimbals, and for real heavy setups there are hybrid gimbals, and these are powerful enough to carry both smartphones and regular cameras. But in this video I'm not going to talk about hybrid gimbals. Instead I've got 5 gimbals to show you, 2 regular gimbals and 3 fold-up gimbals. If you're looking for a regular sized smartphone gimbal, the Hohem iSteady M7 is levels above the competition. And this is by far my favourite smartphone gimbal for heavier setups. The kit includes the gimbal itself, there's a fill light with an AI vision sensor, we've got a mini tripod, charging cables, and of course a protective case. The mini screen has had a huge update over the Steady M6, which was already way better than the Gimbals Smooth 5 mode indicator lights, which you can't really see in the daylight, and they're just very basic. And not only have they made this one of the best mini touchscreens that I've used in any device, but they've also made this control panel detachable. And that's not all. The mini screen now lets you preview the little camera that's inbuilt into the AI tracker. So you can use this and you just double tap on the object, or you can draw over it to start tracking. 3 taps to stop tracking, or you can use the button on the side of the remote control. On the side of the gimbal we've got the control wheel for focus and roll, and now they've added tilt control as well. These A to B buttons can be used to program automated movements like a pan. This allows you to have the gimbal move automatically while using a different app. And if you want to capture a moving time-lapse with your phone's native app, then you can use these A to B buttons for the movement. So at the top, this AI vision sensor is detachable and you can switch it around to face the other way. It is magnetic like on the M6, but now they've added little catchers just to make sure that it's totally secure. So this allows you to track a subject without using the Hohem app. So again, it just gives you a lot more options. Tap the trigger 4 times to switch to ultra wide angle mode. Because with the roll motor at the front, when you switch to the ultra wide camera on your smartphone, you might find that the motor is now in shot. So just tap the trigger 4 times and it brings the motor to the other side. But you can also use the little mini touchscreen, whether you're using it on the gimbal or as a remote. So there's a button there dedicated for this and many other things as well. Another thing you can do with the M7 that I don't think you can do with any other smartphone gimbal, they've got all the regular modes that we're used to, but there's also this custom mode. And now you can just decide which motor you want to follow your movement just by tapping these little switches. So you can go into lock mode just by switching them all off, or you can choose whichever combination that you want. So that's just a quick review, but it's definitely, in my opinion, the best smartphone gimbal that I've ever used. And I have tested many gimbals over the last 4 or 5 years. So I would say that unless you want a lightweight fold-up gimbal, then this is absolutely the best there is. Nothing else really comes close. The Fiotech Scorp Mini P is a smartphone gimbal similar to the Smooth 5 and the Hohem iSteady M6. As a piece of mechanical engineering, I give it a thumbs up. The main weakness of this gimbal is the app which comes with it. So the Scorp Mini P is said by Fiotech to have a max payload of 520 grams, which is actually 120 grams more than the Hohem iSteady M6 and 220 grams more than the Gimbals Smooth 5's max payload. And this means that the gimbal should be better able to handle extras such as filters and lenses and so on. The Scorp Mini P does come with this unusual underslung handle, which I've never actually seen in a smartphone gimbal before. And this allows you to hold the gimbal comfortably in a lower position. But it's actually really more than that. The extra handle makes it easier for shots like a sideways dolly, for example, or a low to high shot. As well, this allows you to use two hands for more stability and control. The Scorp Mini P comes with a number of useful buttons and controls. There's a multifunction wheel which allows you to control the pan, roll and tilt axes. As well, using the Fiotech On app, the wheel can be set to control zoom or focus. The dedicated buttons for Inception mode means you can easily shoot barrel rolls at different speeds, and you don't need to use the Fiotech On app. On the downside, I did find that the app for this gimbal is pretty limited compared to other gimbal apps. It's also not the most intuitive to use. All you get is the most basic functions. But for those people that aren't really bothered about the app that comes with the gimbal, the engineering side of this gimbal is one of the best, I would say. Insta360 has updated their lightweight foldable gimbal, the Flow, to the Flow Pro. This new version has some nice extra touches, especially for iPhone users who create videos. The Flow Pro is now Apple Docket enabled, which means that you can track people as they move around and keep them in frame using your iPhone's native camera app, or other apps like FaceTime, Instagram, TikTok, Canva, WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams, and more. And this is great for live streaming, but to use this feature requires an iPhone 12 or later with iOS 17.4 or later. Connecting to the Flow Pro is now a one-tap process using NFC technology. Just place your iPhone near the pan motor, tap connect, and your phone is going to remember the device for future automatic connections. The Flow Pro also features a ring light around the top of the pan motor that indicates the tracking status. So when you're tracking a person, the gimbal can rotate 360 degrees, allowing you to move freely around the room without worrying about staying in frame. And you can still use the Insta360 app for tracking, which now features AI-powered Deep Track 3.0. And as well, iPhone users can purchase this new MagSafe mounting system, which allows you to get your phone on and off the gimbal pretty quickly. And so I'd say overall, the Insta360 Flow Pro is a great option for those looking for a lightweight, foldable gimbal with advanced tracking features and compatibility with various other apps. Another company that has brought something fresh to the fold-up gimbal table is Hohem, and this is their iSteady V3, which is a pretty impressive upgrade on the previous version, the V2. The iSteady V3 has an extendable handle like the Flow Pro, extending up to 205mm, which is actually a little bit shorter than the handles of the Flow Pro and the DJI Osmo Mobile 6, which both extend to 215mm, so 1 centimeter longer. It also has built-in tripod legs like the Insta360 Flow, but I think these are a little bit more sturdy. They're made of metal and they don't really wobble at all. While I do like the Flow, I do find that the legs are a little bit wobbly. On top of this, we have the magnetic AI tracker and fill light combined. So this works independently of the app, so you can easily use it for live streaming, or if you simply want to use your phone's native app for filming. I found the tracking and the motion of the gimbal is pretty smooth. As well, if you move out of frame, when you return, the tracking picks you up again and starts tracking. One great little innovation on the V3 is the detachable remote. So most gimbals have a control panel on the front of the handle, but with the V3, you can simply detach it, and now you can operate your gimbal from a distance. Now, for example, if you're using the tracking, you can use the detachable remote to start and stop recording. And if you're recording yourself, this means that you don't have to stop the tracking every time you start and stop recording. So I'd say the AI tracker and the remote control do complement each other well. You can also use the joystick to move the gimbal up and down, left and right. And then you can create solo shots like this, where you walk into shot as the camera tilts down. So I'm actually controlling this with the remote as I walk into shot. Again, you can do all this without the Hohem app, so you can use your phone's native camera app or another app of your choice. The DJI Osmo Mobile 6 was released 2 years ago now. It's still a pretty good travel gimbal, but not much has changed since the release, aside from some firmware and software updates. Firstly, the gimbal now uses Active Track 6.0, which means it will be better at regaining tracking again. If it loses it at any point, the gimbal should also be able to track a group of people rather than just a single person. And as well, DJI says that the gimbal is now able to track dogs, cats and other pets. The second update allows Apple Watch owners to monitor and control the gimbal remotely. So I don't actually own an Apple Watch and I can't tell you how good of an update that is. Finally, there's a parents and kids mode, which is basically a bunch of preset gimbal movements which allows the OM6 to automatically record a bunch of shots and then edit them together into a complete video for you. So the idea is that you can get on with having fun with your kids and the gimbal will get the shots so you don't have to think about it. And obviously the gimbal can't move, so all the shots are going to still be from one angle. But it does try to zoom in at appropriate moments to get a closer, more intimate framing. If you're recording yourself talking to the camera, you might find it useful to use a teleprompter. So this is one that I bought from AliExpress for about £25. And it's pretty easy to set up. So it can be used with regular cameras as well as smartphones. So it's not really made of the most rugged materials, but you're not really going to expect that for £25. And do you really need it to be rugged anyway? Because it's just going to be sitting on top of a tripod here indoors. Anyway, so far I haven't had any issues with it breaking or anything. When using it with your iPhone, you need to use the mounting plate with a clamp that comes with it. Slide your phone in and then align the camera with the hole. And so you've got glass here at a 45-degree angle, and this is what you use to show the text. You're going to need a second phone to do this, but all you're doing really is scrolling text, so even a very budget phone or an old phone that you've got lying around, maybe an iPad or something, it's going to work fine. The thing is that you want the text to be exactly where the camera is, so that when you read, you're looking directly at the camera. So I'm using my Samsung S24 Ultra to display the text, and I actually downloaded the free newer Teleprompter app, and it works fine. The glass acts as a mirror for the text, which plays below on your second phone's screen. So the text does need to be mirrored, and this app does that for you. So the app also allows you to format the text a bit, and as well you can set the speed that the text plays. So you can play around with that until you get the speed and the size of the font that suits you. Microphones are fairly essential accessories for improving the quality of your video recordings. They generally offer significantly better sound clarity than the inbuilt mics on your iPhone. And in recent times, there's been a virtual flood of these compact, affordable wireless microphone systems coming onto the market. Features that are generally common to all these systems are that you get a receiver that plugs into your phone, and you also get two transmitters. So I'm going to go through them all, and I'm going to record my voice as I go through each section with the mic that I'm talking about, and I'm going to leave that audio untreated so that you can get a true comparison between all the mics. This is Rode's new wireless microphone system, the Wireless Micro. The charging case is small and rounded, making it easy to hold and also to fit it into your pocket without the edges kind of sticking into you. It's kind of the shape and size of a small bar of soap, as we expect from these systems. There's two clip-on transmitters with inbuilt microphones, just like all the others that I'm going to be showing you. Remove the system from the case and it automatically connects. Like the other systems, the receiver plugs directly into your smartphones. No need for any cables. The transmitters can be attached to your clothes or to other places using the clips or by using the magnets. So this is the white version, but there is also a black alternative, and you're going to get two furry wind protectors which slip over the mics easily, and as well there is a USB-C cable included. The system uses Rode's intelligent gain assist technology, which helps keep your audio levels perfectly balanced. Rode says the transmitters feature a patent-pending acoustic chamber design, purpose-built to mitigate wind noise and capture exceptionally clear audio. Compared to some of the others I'll be showing you, these mics have a kind of more professional build quality. And notice that there are holes at the sides of the mic as well as at the top. So that's the first time I've seen that. as usually there's just one hole, at the top. As well, the Rode wireless microsystem can be used with the free Rode Capture app. This circular charging case houses 2 compact transmitters and a USB receiver. Simply open the case to reveal the microphones and plug the receiver into your phone or other device. The transmitter's green lights indicate that they're charged and ready to use. When you remove them from the case, they'll automatically connect to the receiver. A pulsing blue light signals pairing, turning steady blue when connected. Each transmitter features a single button for power and muting the built-in microphone. For easy attachment, the case includes magnetic discs that adhere to your shirt. These kind of rubber ring wind protectors slip over the transmitters to secure the furry windshields. Just ensure the furry part covers the microphone portion of the transmitter. So another option is to use the necklace, which is available for hanging the transmitter around your neck while magnetically attaching the microphone. The transmitters charge within the case, and the case itself recharges via the USB-C port in the case. 4 lights on the front display the case's battery level. The receiver's 3 lights represent the microphone gain level. 1 is lowest, 3 is highest. Adjust the gain by pressing the receiver's button. The USB-C port on the receiver allows you to charge your phone while the transmitter is connected. One thing I don't like about this system is that the button is placed on the end of the receiver, because this is where we instinctively grip it. So you do need to grip it in the middle when you're putting it in and out. But otherwise, it is a pretty simple setup, easy to use, plug and play, and the sound quality is good too. The Godox Cube SC is a pretty similar setup to the SmallRig. One major difference is that the system has a dedicated app called the Godox Mic app, which allows users to control various settings. For a charging case, Godox has opted for this tube-like design. I do like this kind of press in to open the case design, and the battery level lights light up here to let you know the level. The receiver also doesn't have a button at the end like the SmallRig S60, so you can grip it at the ends sort of more naturally. The microphone transmitter weighs only 7 grams, and once fully charged, the transmitter can run for up to 10 hours. And the range is up to 300 meters, as long as there's no walls or anything between the transmitter and the receiver. The buttons on the transmitters enable or disable noise reduction. They can also be used as a remote for your camera, so you can take a photo or stop recording. The receiver features a USB-C pass-through charging port, allowing you to charge your phone while using the microphone. Other than that, the system works in a very similar way to the SmallRig. But I do like the physical design of the case, the shape of it, and with these rounded corners means this can go in your pocket and it's pretty comfortable. The way it opens too is cool and it's kind of functional. There's no lid, which means there's less things to get broken, isn't there? So again, it's just basic, plug and play, very simple to use. And I think the sound quality is good as well. So this is the Hohem Mic 01 wireless system. Again, it's pretty similar to the previous two. Comes in a little charging case, open it up, plug and play, off you go. But this one is a little bit different because you can also attach a wired lavalier microphone, and you can record directly to the transmitter using a micro SD card. So it's got a case that houses the receiver and transmitters and charges them with the USB-C port. Each transmitter lasts about 7.5 hours, and the case extends that up to 20 hours. And you can also get it for the USB-C or Lightning versions. The receiver has a USB-C pass-through charging port, like the last one, so you can charge your phone while you're using the microphone. So adding a wired lavalier microphone can improve the quality, and also it can be a little bit more discreet. So let's just try that now. Okay, so now I'm using this wired lavalier mic. This is one by DJI. It cost me about £35 on Amazon. So you can hear the difference between what it sounds like with a pretty low budget wired microphone and just the transmitter on its own. The Mic 01's transmitters that can actually also be used as standalone recorders. All you have to do is just insert a micro SD card formatted to FAT32, and then you can capture audio directly onto the transmitter. And if you put a 32GB card in, you can store up to 94 hours of WAV format audio, which is quite a bit more than something like the Rode Wireless Go 2, which can also record onto
the transmitters. To use the transmitter as a standalone recorder, you just have to press the red button to start and stop recording. So you can also transfer files from the card using a card reader, or by just connecting the transmitter to your computer with a cable. The transmitter can also be used as a USB drive for storing files as well, so that's quite handy. The Mic 01 has a Bluetooth shutter function for remotely controlling your smartphone's camera, and you can use this with your iPhone's native camera app. The Rode Wireless Pro comes with 2 transmitters, each equipped with built-in microphone and the ability to connect external lavalier mics. One of the most impressive features is the 32-bit float onboard recording capability. So as long as you're recording onto the transmitter, this means that you can record without worrying about clipping or setting perfect levels, and this also gives you more flexibility in post-production. Each transmitter provides up to 7 hours of battery life. With the included charging case, total operating time is extended to about 21 hours. So like with the Hohem Mic 01, you can use the transmitters as standalone field recorders. So in other words, you can use them without connecting to anything, and you can record directly to the transmitter. Clip it on, press record, and the audio is going to be saved to the internal memory. Plug your transmitter into your computer and export using the Rode Central software. The transmitters come with a good 32 gigabytes of internal memory, allowing for over 40 hours of audio recording in the 32-bit float format. What I like about this system is that you can pretty much take it out of the box and then you can start using it. But there is also a host of extra settings and features for different setups and for different situations if you need them. So the Rode Wireless Pro setup comes with 2 lavalier mics included. So this is one of them. They're a pretty good level, I think. I think if you just bought them on their own, they're about $90 each. So they're in a decent price range. So I'm just giving you an example here so you can see the difference between using the wired lavalier or just using the transmitter. This is the new Sandmarc Ultra, which is another 2-channel wireless microphone system, but it does have some less common features. We have the storage case, which is also a charging case. We have the option to attach 3.5mm wired lavalier mics to the transmitter. There's also the option to buy the set with or without 2 wired lavalier mics included. And this is what it sounds like with one of those Sandmarc wired lavalier mics. Now there's 32-bit float onboard recording onto the transmitter. But the more unusual features are the inclusion of timecode recording, which makes syncing audio and video across multiple cameras easier. I don't personally have devices which can record timecode, so I can't actually test it for you. Another feature that I've never seen before is the inclusion of a detachable antenna. And this is said by Sandmarc to improve anti-interference performance. For example, sometimes I get electrical clicks when using these wireless setups, which can be a little bit tricky and time-consuming to get rid of. The receiver attaches directly to the port of your phone like the other devices, and it comes with a USB-C and Lightning connector for older iPhones. The receiver has a touchscreen for accessing the menu settings, and there's also a physical knob here which makes adjusting the settings easier. So you can set your timecode here, you can set your audio level, audio gain, noise reduction, and there's many more settings as well. This is the Hollyland Lark M2, and this is a popular budget-friendly wireless microphone system which can plug into your phone. Like the others that I've shown you so far, there's a charging case which contains 2 very small puck-shaped transmitters. The difference with this system is that you get a receiver for regular cameras as well as receivers for smartphones. You get both a USB receiver and a Lightning receiver, but one downside is that they don't actually go in the case. There's plenty of little extras though. We've got 2 windshields for the transmitters. There's a USB-A to USB-C cable. There's a 3.5mm TRS cable, plus various other bits and bobs. And it all goes into this nice little drawstring bag, so you're not going to lose anything. There's noise cancellation, and with the case, up to 40 hours of use on a fully charged battery. The Lark Sound mobile app offers several useful functions for the Lark M2. With the app, users can upgrade the device firmware, and as well you can adjust volume control, You can adjust feedback levels, and as well you can adjust the strength of the M2's environmental noise cancelling feature. The Hollyland Lark M2 is an impressive wireless microphone system that really does punch above its weight class. It's got a compact design, it's got good audio quality and user-friendly features. It really make it a pretty good choice for vloggers, YouTubers and filmmakers looking to upgrade their audio without breaking the bank. Now, because I got this kit a little bit later than the other ones, I wasn't able to test it in the same room. So that does make comparing the sound a little bit tricky. It's just going to sound different. But anyway, it's such a popular setup that I thought it was worth including. So you get to hear it outside. The others are all inside, and that does make a difference. So the main competitor to these Rode wireless systems are the DJI Mic 1 and the DJI Mic 2 systems. So the 2 is obviously the most recent. The DJI Mic 2 has many similarities to the Rode system. There's the kind of plug and play out of the box simplicity. You've got the 32-bit onboard recording. There's a 3.5mm socket in the transmitter for a lavalier. One difference is that it's theoretically possible to connect the transmitter directly to your iPhone using Bluetooth. So right now this is connected directly to my iPhone 16 Pro using Bluetooth, but actually I wasn't able to record audio with the native app. However, when I tried using the Blackmagic app, I was able to switch to the DJI mic, and I was able to get audio from the mic to record onto the iPhone. So another advantage is that DJI sells these transmitters individually, which is actually what I have, because I don't have the full 2 transmitters and the charging case set up. So now I'm using the DJI lavalier mic connected to the DJI Mic 2 transmitter and still connected via Bluetooth to my iPhone 16 Pro.
So don't forget that you can join us on Patreon entirely for free, and you can watch videos there ad-free. So head over if you fancy it, and it helps to support the channel as well. Apart from that, thank you for watching, and remember, be visionary.